Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Transformers the Show. It's been a year we've been doing this. It does not feel like that at all. We've got loads of news coming up. We've got loads of discussion. We've got loads of pickups. We've got Rohan's Corner. We've got Arrowfyre, an action-packed tour de force of Transformers love. And it starts right now with the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
I feel like we need to watch that back because I didn't think the Quintessons guards were Ironhide clones. I thought they were something like reflectors. Yeah, they weren't Ironhide. So there might be a story behind this that isn't just that.
Oh, no, it's Ironhide.
And because there is a Quintesson looking badge on it.
Yeah, Ironhide was there.
I thought it was Ironhide.
In the background, he was.
You obviously didn't watch the same show.
Ironhide was there. Ironhide was there.
No,
but the guards didn't look
no
like
wonder
that.
you liked it so much. You didn't watch it.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
You're right.
Andy,
I should have been concentrating on a character
Andy,
way up in the background.
Obviously, you didn't watch the same show as us because you gave it a good score.
Me and Jamie's eyes are still bleeding.
Jamie.
Right, go on next. What's next?
This is Rusted Barricade, isn't it?
Perfect.
Yes, all done. We can move on.
Is it supposed to be zombified in some way, or is it just old?
Yes, yes. Yeah, Rusted Zombified Barricade, who's not...
They're milking quite a niche bit of Earthrise, aren't they, with this?
Yeah, I don't like the look at that at all, to be
How
honest.
many kids or adult players went,
money.
oh, that's the guy I want. Running out to Toys
I
R
want
Us.
the dead
I kind of hope
barricade
this isn't real.
with the crappy orangey brown colours that looks as though he's been stuck up someone's backside. Yeah, that's what I want. So, no,
Today,
in one
Hasbro,
sense,
not today.
He does look like he's a bit of rusted metal though, compared to a bit of shit plastic there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he actually looks more real than the character models they used in
like a bit of
Earthrise.
rusted. It looks like a bit of old. If he was made of die cast, he looks like a bit of old shit die cast compared to old shit bit of plastic.
60% better CGI.
In his defense, which he is not die cast, by the way.
swing.
This is Zeta Blitzwing by the looks of it. And you can see how it cleans up there. A bit like Dreamstar Slingshot does.
Yeah,
It is.
It
apart
is
from there was a post from Ben's Collectibles saying it's not Zeta. So
No,
apparently
not
it's
technically. It does look like Zeta though.
So it does. I think Zeta have been very clever, as we said before. They've obviously released their Studio Cell. They've released a number of they got the Kang toys. I think every release they get now, there's going to be technically a new brand name, so they can't brand it effectively. So, but I've got Zeta's Pioneer, their Bumblebee, and I think it's very good. And then the Prime,
grab them.
Toy
Grab
Prime.
them, show us to the camera.
I will
Maybe review them, unbox them.
I'll I will send pictures for you, Paul, to add into the editing.
Thank you. This is Iron Factory's City Commander, which is Ultra Magnus. You can see him next to the version 1 City Commander. The robot mode looks astonishingly bigger, and I thought it was going to be the same size as their DJD, when you got Helix and the other guy, the two big guys from the DJD. He looks bigger than that because they can kind of scale with the original Iron Factory Ultra Magnus. But loads of people getting really excited about this. I phoned up Kapow today and said, oh, do you think you'll be getting this in? They said they're very likely to be getting this Ultra Magnus in. So fingers crossed it turns up in Kapow soon.
Is that Magnus supposed to be based on the IDW, without giving away too many spoilers if you haven't read that far ahead in Lost Light? But when they have the big battle with the DJD, Ultra Magnus gets like a super set of armor that's bigger than his usual one. So I'm just wondering if that's it.
I haven't read
the size of it. He's got bigger cannons and things because
he gets an upgrade, does he?
Swerve sits in one of his cannons or something. He's got like a shoulder gun, and he's Swerve's.
Oh, now you like the shoulder gun idea? No,
not up on there. That was stupid. But, you know the double cannons on the arms. Suck it, Jamie.
Anyway. Most of their stuff's based around the IDW. Everyone's just there's a lot of we have a Legends group.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not Legends, like not massive Legends collectors getting a lot excited about this. So
what's your Legends group called again, Paul? Just in case anybody was interested and wanted to find out more.
Dirty Pants 501.
No, the Legends group, not your.
Oh, sorry.
Your Grinder account.
Legends collectors. No, is it called that? Legends UK and Europe. If you want to join there, talk about Legends. Different group. PM me for Dirty Pants 501.
They will now. Right. Alexis, stop sending messages. It's coming through on my messenger. Right.
So
this is that skull cruncher.
Yeah, this is one you thought looked very similar to Titan's Return, Skull Cruncher. It's just the box art, which looks cool. They do really cool
It
box
does
art.
look good, doesn't it?
This might be Dreamstar.
This looks
Slingshot.
like Dreamstar Slingshot, especially with this DST Slingshot.
It's a very stylized version of Superion. This is Slingshot, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, and when we think about the Furai toys and how they look so amazing, if you go back to that robot mode, it looks as detailed as that sort of non-transforming robot you would get. And for me, later on in our discussion, when we talk about what's the next step for Transformers, this kind of hints towards it. It's an astonishing
if you look
robot
towards
mode.
his head sculpt, the head sculpt's the one thing they've taken from G1, and everything else is brand new.
Because it's mega detailed.
He's meant to be all grey as well. It's like a gunmetal grey, like a proper, like sort of jet in like a 21st century. I mean, I love him for a Superion-esque action force crossover.
And I love him for his massive missiles.
And I was watching a review the other day. Remember we shared last week? Do you remember last week we shared the picture of the triple, quadruple, five, the Megatron, which turned into a tank and then everything else, right? That Megatron, which went alongside John Commander. Apparently, I heard a rumor TFC Toys are doing an Action Force Transformer crossover. So like the John Commander and the Megatron, anything else that TFC released in that sort of area are sort of like it is a Action Force crossover, which is pretty cool.
Excellent. Masterpiece Thundercracker.
MP52, I think this is 52B. So Thundercracker. Pictures of him running like he is running when he's running against. Obviously, he was the first person in the cartoon, the intro. He was running against Jazz, I think, and shooting him. That's the idea of the shot on the middle there, and then the right side you've got his jet mode, exactly the same as Starscream, but you've got obviously blast effects now. Everyone gives you blast effects now, and then you've got his guns as well.
Didn't I hear something in the news about blast effects sometimes reacting badly with the plastic? Because it's two different, two different types of plastic coming together. So they say if you use blast effects, don't leave them stuck in. Make sure to take them out and only put them in when you're taking photos.
Ooh. Exactly. That's somebody had commented on that, but then there was some confusion over whether it counted with Hasbro's blast effects or whether it was the ones that came with other figures. But
tell you what, I'll double check.
But bearing in mind not to leave them in your figures or on your figures rather, because apparently it might cause a problem.
Always put out.
Well, you've got different ones. So Masterpiece Megatron here. I've got his blast effect in.
Always take that plastic off after you're finished. That's the good advice.
It's been in since I bought the figure.
Alexis has gone rogue now.
I can twist it now. I can twist it. I can twist it, and it's still.
You can twist it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Like you did last summer.
The Takara Hound. Sorry, Takara Prowl. I've taken off.
Can you hear us?
I don't think you can.
These are some Star Trek books I've been collecting recently. This one's called Where No One Has Gone Before. So it's basically a history in pictures of Star Trek that's by James Millard.
I like it. This is a little Lego Brickhead's Baby Yoda.
That's great.
Which I think my son got for.
There's a picture here of Picard and Data having a row over the table.
That's supposed to be Masterpiece Skids, by the way. Is that who that is? Masterpiece Skids?
Yes, that is Masterpiece Skids. This is Masterpiece Skids. So Takara announced MP Skids, and there is an X Transports version, which is very good. So I'm unsure why. It's very obscure that they released this version. Why? I don't know.
Repaints.
Jamie, just to finish your point on the actual blast effects, what actually is meant to happen to the effects?
No, because that's not the news.
We covered that bit. You walked off.
Oh, but I've taken it out.
That's not the news. That's not the news.
I'm just putting it back. I'm putting it back. I'm putting it back. You can't hear me, can you?
Oh, anyway, that was the news, and also Alexis's bits.
I get you can't hear me if I walk away from the microphone. I hate this shit.
People get to see your arse, so someone's happy.
It's swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
I have to shout when I'm not.
You don't need to shout. ever.
Paul looks really fed up.
Right. It's over
This
to
is John-
Arrowfyre.
Thanks very much, guys. Hello everyone, it's Arrowfyre back once again. Now, today I want to talk to you about transformation and how transformation has changed throughout the years of Transformers and how it doesn't mean what it once did. So let me explain. Back in the early days of Transformers, when the toys are just released, it's a gimmick. It's to get a toy robot into a car, typically, and that's its playability. That's its market value. It's designed to transform for a child to fiddle around with, and that's how it's presented. Look at what this Transformer can do. It can transform. However, when you put that into a narrative, like the G1 cartoon, the context for transformation changes. So in the G1 cartoon, particularly in the first series, it was for robots in disguise. They are to blend into everyday environments. This is why you saw trucks, planes, cars. They were to be everyday street vehicles that you would never consider to be an alien robot. Now, going into the second and third series of the G1 cartoon, this didn't really come into play, and quite frankly everyone on Earth knew who the Autobots and the Decepticons were. So robots in disguise and Morna meets the eye slowly went away, but at least back then that's what transformation meant. It meant blending in. Now, by the time Beast Wars came around, now yes I know, going on about Beast Wars again, transformation meant something completely different. Now they had to transform in order to survive. So I'll give you a quick bit of history on that if you don't know it already. When the Maximals and the Predacons crash on Earth, they don't know it's Earth, there's such an element of raw energy on this planet that they cannot stay too long in their robotic forms without short-circuiting and eventually going into stasis lock. So they have to transform into the local wildlife environment and take organic forms. They turn into beasts because they're not affected. And this then became a means of survival. They had to transform every so often to stay alive. This is far cry from being robots in disguise. This is now robots trying to survive. Now when you go into the live action movies of late, these are again going back into trying to blend in with everyday environments. These are now trying to be robots in disguise once more, thinking in modern day Earth, how would we react as humans seeing 10, 20, 30 foot robots landing on our planet? We probably wouldn't react very well. So they blend in and they transform into trucks, Camaros and whatever else. Then you could go into more modern day comics, things like IDW. Transformation really doesn't mean what it used to mean. They don't transform too much in the comics compared to other forms of media. Transformation in comics is really for upgrading of weapons and arsenals. For Megatron to transform into a tank and then fire his fusion cannon in tank mode, it's clearly more powerful than firing his fusion cannon in robot mode. So this is quite interesting when you look about transformation of what it meant back in the G1 cartoon, what it means in the live action movies, what it means in Beast Wars, and what it means in comics. It is the central gimmick of Transformers. It is very much in their name, but yet it's meant something different in almost every incarnation, series or storyline that is created for Transformers. It means something different each time. Personally, I think Beast Wars absolutely hit it brilliantly. Now transformation is a means of survival. It's not just something they do for fun, because a Transformer can transform as quickly as that. But now they had to transform. If this was to go on again into Kingdom, perhaps, and maybe, I don't know if the Autobots could transform as a means of survival, but if they say, no, we have to do it to survive, again, it's putting another dimension into it. I think it really takes a gimmick that really was designed to sell toys and has given a lot more story to it, an actual definition behind it. Now recently, of course, we have seen a War for Cybertron Earthrise series where, again, you don't see all that much transformation going on into it, other than maybe going into, say, jet modes and having dogs fights in the sky. But again, this is an arsenal upgrade. This is a weapon upgrade, not so much a need to blend in or a need to survive. Anyway, What do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of transformation as it's gone on through the years? Has it become a little bit old hat? Does it not mean what it used to mean? Has it kind of lost its edge? Is it a bit of a gimmick now? Or does it mean that it has to be reinvented each time to fit its new narrative, to give them a reason for going through all these complex changes that we have to saw our fingers for when you're transforming a toy? It is obviously just a narrative at the end of the day. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. Anyway, I'll hand you back to the guys.
Ian.
Thanks, Arrowfyre. Right, on to pickups. Who would like to go first? Jamie, do you want to go first, sir?
Okay, I'll go first.
What
I got today was basically, I got the Hot Rod Patrol, and I've been after these guys, you know, these vintage MicroMasters for some time, and it just reminds me of almost like the early days of the 90s cartoon, when cartoons started to have more bright colors and things were taken to the extreme. So suddenly you had these really cool cars with the engines on the outside. You could almost sort of feel these sort of pistons moving. So you got Big Daddy, which is a fantastic name, you know, as well as a Hot Rod Patrol. You know, it's just like throwing away all these sexual connotations as Big Daddy. And then you've got Hubs, you know, beautiful little car, green car. And then you've also got Trip Up. And then I think the last one is called, is it Greaser?
Yeah.
And just wonderful set to have. I mean, I was absolutely always looking for this set. Hard to find, always searching eBay. And eventually, after a couple of missed opportunities, I managed to get one from Germany. I was just going to show you some pictures. Very good quality, wonderful vibrant colours, very tight. You might like to know, Paul, I did the School of Hard Panther and then transformed them without instructions.
That is hardcore.
All four of them, one after the
Good
other.
man. Good man.
You calm down, so 4 in a go.
You know, I love the car modes. It's the best thing about them. As I said before, it reminds me of the early 90s, you know, when you had like Batman was coming out. Yeah, it was just the vibrant colours when you had things like Samurai Pizza Cats, all these absurdities, you know, and seeing these type of cars, which I guess were going after the micro machines as well, which were also starting to bring out more fancy type of micro machine cars. So Transformers was up in its game. And then you had the Hot Rod Patrol. And there they are with the latest counterparts. It's a pity that Hasbro have only done them in twos and not done a full team, which is the same there. So you've only got really Big Daddy and Trip Up there. And I wish they would have brought out the fours, you know, instead of this sort of weird mechanic where the two MicroMasters form a kind of gun, which just doesn't work. And I don't think anyone's ever actually tried to use them as a gun either.
A big screw in the middle of the modern version's chests as well.
Yeah.
The big screw hole. It just...
The transformation's pretty much the same though. I mean, the only difference is the chest bit, which you see in the old vintage MicroMasters, it actually just goes behind them. Everything else is almost identical.
Yeah.
You know, as I said before, I also done them hard School Panther, you know, go instructions.
School Panther.
Don't let him laugh at you. You've done it properly. You've done the School of Hard Panther.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I could have done that with my MicroMasters.
I do love the car shapes. I do love how they look, and I think it's very pleasing that Hasbro at least try to do this. I just wish they did the four of them. And as vintage sets go, I think the Hot Rod Patrol are one of the hardest to track down. I think in other places in the world they're quite easy. They seem quite popular or populous. But when it comes to the UK, I think it's been quite hard for most people to get this set. And I was quite lucky. I got them for £40 from Germany. and very good condition, very minor wear and tear, which you're sometimes happy to see because at least it means it's at least more vintage. Well, if they were fake, at least they were fake about a couple of decades ago.
God bless the Germans, eh?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I'd like to thank my German brothers for sending this over to me, so that's fantastic. Not too much, but yeah, thank you.
German brethren.
Don't get above your position, Germany unit. We know what happened last time.
Yes, twice.
Right, cool. My Scottish friend, is that any more?
No, that's it. I would absolutely. I mean, I don't think because I'm absolutely knackered because we spent 2 hours trying to fix some sound problem. I just absolutely loved getting it. It's like one of the things I was really looking forward to getting, and that's why I took those screenshots and put them up on the forums.
Ah, they're awesome. And if you didn't get to see them properly, go to TF UK. Just search on their Facebook, Transformers UK. They are there. Jamie, all right. I'll go next. I only got one for this week. It was emotional. It was a Transformer I've been after for a while, and it was Bad Cube War Dog. So there he is. Oh, I need to stop spotlighting you. Right, I'll stop recording as well. No, I won't stop recording. I'll just stop spotlighting. Oh, how do I do that? Spotlight for everyone.
I'll spotlight you, don't worry. I'll spotlight you for
3,
everyone.
2. I've just gone back to Jamie.
I can see you now, Jamie, but it was you that we could see before, Paul.
You see me now? You see me now?
See me now.
3, 2, 1. So for my pickups this week, it was a bit emotional. It was this little guy here who is a War Dog, Bad Cube, so Masterpiece, Warpath, who I was really excited about getting. I'll stick the review at the end of this video, but needs to say, you could probably say what's missing. His arm fell off. So I've done him without instructions, which I've done lots of things before without instructions, including women. This was too difficult. He was an absolute beast to try and master. To be fair, actually, all this bit was good. It's just his arm was absolutely atrocious. It could not withstand my hard panther, and he died. So
you didn't even look at any videos, did you?
No, nothing.
But did you look at videos of women before you went for the real one?
Oh, no, never, no.
just lots of men. If I know myself, I
will know them. Yeah. And that's
what's that big thing there? I haven't got one of those.
Your turn.
Okay.
Anatomy is basically the same anyway, just something's inverted. That's all.
So, first things first, I got Dr. Egg working properly.
Pick up
from last week.
So I'm going to have a mini review, which will be separate to this. So you can see here if I get where's the sensor.
That's pretty cool.
Alexis got this working. And this guy can't even use Google.
It only took him a week.
Shame on you.
You can't hear it properly, or I can't anyway.
So I've set off. So I got the remote working and the figure. Very cool. Anyway, so my pickup. Shut up. It's working. So this is DX9 Guatilla, I think it's called, because they've all got sort of like Al Capone style, gangster style names. But DX9 went out and named him Dragstrip. I put him in a bit of a oof pose because he is that sort of bot. He's quite imposing. He's very big, very tall. Excuse the tentacle there on the mouse mat. That's from Dr. Eggman. He gets excited sometimes. I've also got next to his counterparts. So left-hand side there, you've got Transform Elements Mirage, Speedster, and on the right-hand side, you've got X-Transport version of Dragstrip. They both pose better. They've got better articulation, better ankle rockers, everything else, right? He's okay. He's good. I mean, he's good, right? But he's lacking in posability, I would say. The one thing DX9 do well is transformations, alt modes, bot modes, good. The bot they fucked up on this set was Wild Rider. He had a really goofy head. Didn't like his head. Everything else about... So, ironically, the thing that DX9 have done well is the iron bots. Fans Toys haven't released their iron bots. Most iron bots that get released are wonky. Unique Toys, MMC, Bruscus, the iron bots were wonky. DX9 have actually nailed it surprisingly well. Anyway, moving on. Here he is next to the other bot. So I thought I put in a siege bot so you can see comparison. Everyone likes a cat in scale, but I don't have a cat to hand. We've got the back shot as well, so you can see how clean he is. Literally,
well,
so
he cleans up nicely.
He does. These are the side skirts. So he's got. So I've got him in car mode right now. So I'll show him in car mode, but you'll see. I'll identify on the mode. That's the only thing on his back, right? This guy here is like, because he's got so much. I mean, that there is detail. But the rest of this is just complex. X-Transbots and Bagcube and Fans Toys, they're just so complicated. Side profile, you can see the side difference there. But again, just size difference as well. So both have rubber tires. So you can see there's lots of white flecks and things on the tires. That's because they're rubber tires. Oh, and look, you can go.
I was just going to say, you're supposed to be able to see his face.
And you can turn it the other way, but that's how it comes. So I thought I'd leave it as
you
that.
chose it that way round.
Well, that's quite funny. That's what
the face cockpit.
I took a picture side by side, but from a different angle. You'll notice there's different shades of gold as well. So I will say I prefer the X-Transbots gold because it just seems to mold better. DX9 used the gold as brakes to actually give you parts of actually to wear to separate the toy. What they will both do, and in this mode, sorry, go back to here. They're arm bots, right? So the tops and bottoms separate at the waist. You can see clearly a line where the engine block is almost, and then where the seat cover is here, where they separate. So they do that. You split apart, and then you can pull them apart, and that's it, right? And then one final shot here, where they're all in car mode as well. So I thought that was quite important to show, because no one's showed it just yet. But just to emphasize that as well, you've got Dragstrip here, box mode.
They were going to call him Guillemot when they changed the name.
Isn't he Giuliano?
Giuliano, Guillemot, yeah.
Whatever it was called, why did they change the name back to Dragstrip? The actual official name. There's a reason, isn't there?
So the reason is because So DX9 were linked to Unique Toys, and this is again all supposedly. And DX9 didn't get paid for the last bots they did, right? So DX9 have done a number of bots, and I think they're an amazing company. They're my best the best company to do Hard Panther, and I did Hard Panther on this guy. This guy is a pretty cool bot. I'll admit, right? You can see there's areas. I'll do a little review on here.
Kind of gone off the track where
I was going to say, is this part of the answer?
You were saying, why is it called
anyway,
Dragstrip?
Because they were out of business, and they said, Hasbro, fuck you, we don't care anymore. We've had enough. We're doing a lot of cool things, and we're not getting recognized. So that's your lot.
What's your view on ebooks? I am a massive fan of the Amazon Kindle, and I've always said the genius of the Kindle is that unlike rival tablet devices I could mention, it doesn't have an internet browser, which means you can enjoy a good book free from the nagging distraction of hardcore online pornography. And that's a great boon for me, because when I'm reading my Kindle, be it in the bed or in a soapy bath or in a tent in the Cotswolds, I know I can immerse myself completely in, say, The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende, safe in the knowledge that I simply cannot access images of an explicit sexual nature, however tempting or necessary it may be.
So this came with Dragstrip as well, and this is a leg. And everyone says, oh, what's important about a leg? But so what DX9 have done, I haven't realized until someone said this. DX9 have been sending you a piece of a bot with every release of the version of their Menasor. They've sent you a limb, so 5 limbs, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a chest, and a head, effectively a torso, and it is a Legends version of Orion Pax. So it's their version of Orion Pax.
Cool.
Ah.
So how many have you got so far?
Well, I've got all 5, but all the rest of them in the loft, and I forgot to get them out. So I've got this one out this box here, and then the rest of them in a little bubble wrap up in the loft. So I got
you had no idea.
I had no idea what it was. I forgot the first one.
It was this random leg.
Random leg or random arm. And then yeah. So if you are a DX9 fan, obviously DX9 do a lot of very cool Legends stuff. Then there's gonna be a lot of these around. So if you're an MP collector and you're not a Legends collector, then you need to subscribe to Paul. What's our group?
Dirty Girls on West. Oh, sorry, no. Fuck.
There you go.
Legends Collectors UK and Europe.
And if you
Transformers
don't want
Legends.
if you do not want your DX9 Orion packs, then you can offload it. So there we go. So that's what I want to show, because I thought that's pretty cool. DX9, I'm gonna miss you a lot. Thank you.
Say a prayer. You're in our thoughts, DX9.
The legs. So I've also got the X Transport version as well. You can look here and you can see there's a lot more detail in the X Transport version. You look at the engine block, you look at around it.
Definitely.
There's generally a lot more it's a lot detail, just generally detail.
And how do they compare in price? Sorry.
They're about £80 each, I would guess. Someone did do a very good comparison. We haven't done that ourselves, but of all the versions of Menasor, if you want to buy them. Obviously, Fans Toys being the most expensive, and DX9 being slightly least expensive. But there's a lot of things that you can, it's scale articulation. I think overall, I think Fans Toys will produce the best robot versions. I think X Transports are going to produce the best robot version, in my opinion, so far. DX9 have the most fun, price, and to be honest, the leg box, it's very hard to fuck a leg bot, but their leg box are wonk. Sorry, their leg bots are funky.
Make sure you ask permission.
So basically what happened was they were going to do the robot and they were going to call him one of these Capone type villains. And because they were getting shut down by either Hasbro or pressure from the Chinese government, they just called him Dragstrip, didn't they? And they stuck it on the box. I thought, well, if you're going to shut us down, we'll go full out, tell you exactly what it is, and label it as Dragstrip.
Can I say as well, so Transform Element have done something similar on their version of Mirage. They have stuck Ford on the engine block and don't give a shit about that. But cool. The arm bots are really good. So remember the DX9 Kaluka, whatever, I did the joke, I split it in half, I said it's a broken dead end. He's a really nice bot, and today, and their arm bots are really nice. It's strange, right? Because their leg bots were too skinny, weren't they? But their arm bots are perfect. But if you look at DX9, X Transports, what they've done is they've sold that add-on kit so you can beef it out, so you can make the arms chunkier and the shoulders bigger, and the legs are still smaller. So they've recognized that. And DX9 are trying to do something similar. Fans Toys tried to do it with complex transformation. So there's a lot of panels involved. But we'll see in about probably this year who wins the race. But
we will see who wins the race.
In 2 weeks' time, cool. I should have a DX9 versus X Transports full-on comparison on our show. And
that was an awesome. I really thought that was DX9 was really awesome review as well. So thank you so much for that. Right, Andy, how did you get on?
So I have been picking up a few kind of older bots that I felt like I missed out on before. So I did have this once before, and I sold it because I just wasn't that impressed with the Siege mold. But then I just changed my mind about this particular one. So Mr. Christopher Mead helped sort me out with a hotlink,
cheers,
which was handy because he was sold out in all the Smiths near to me, and he did just the color scheme and everything.
I said that to you, didn't I? I said the colours are fantastic, Andy.
You did.
That's not enough, Jamie. That's not enough.
No,
But it was.
you know, it's the foolishness of youth, Jamie. The foolishness of youth. You must remember that. Come on.
Been so long
tying
ago.
in as well. Tying in as well.
Can't even get up the stairs anymore.
I had my eye on these
noises.
siege. I wish that was the truth. How fucking do. Anyway, I was.
Because they're not flaccid.
Flaccid noises.
Why did Alexis walk off then?
It's just upset him. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah. Anyway, basically, I got.
It was
Siege
working
Netflix,
last night. That's what you said.
Siege Netflix Ultra Magnus. I wasn't going to pick this up. I'd got the first Siege Ultra Magnus, and mine was a floppy piece of crap, and I just wasn't impressed by it. And I got rid of it because I wasn't impressed. And then I don't know why, but I saw this and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. Maybe I just had a bit of a QC issue on the one I got. And this one is far better. It's far tighter joints and everything. So I think maybe in a QC issue. And I kind of quite like the more kind of scuffed up, dirty kind of look to it. He looks more battle worn and like he's actually been in a fight or two. And of course, as a little added bonus, exactly. Of course, the little bonus which I've forgotten you get with it is just a little mini pink rung.
Oh,
yes. It's apparently called Battlefield rung. I mean, you don't see a rung on many battlefields, but you know, it's nice that they decided a pink colour would help him out on a battlefield, as opposed to making a target.
The Scotland soccer team have a pink.
I know you mentioned it before, Joey,
and the rugby team have a pink top. Pink is the new colour to be. It really is.
Pink is the new pink.
Yeah.
If you're on the film.
Then the final one.
My youngest loves pink. His favourite Transformer is actually RC. Look, my little 4-year-old Ethan, he loves it, and he asked one for Christmas.
Cool. So the final one I picked up was one I've been umming and ahhing about for a while, but I've decided to go for it, which is Select Super Megatron, which I know Jamie's got and was waxing lyrical about back when he got it. And I saw something over Christmas. I saw a couple of reviewers doing their top 10s, and he appeared in a few top 10s actually from last year. And I started to think to myself, damn, I kind of wish I'd picked one of those up, because it was, I think, April of last year it came out, something like that.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, they still had some left at Kapow, which I hadn't realised. So I thought, what the hell, I'll pick one up. Haven't got him out yet to actually have a play around with him, but he is on my to-do list.
Just don't drop him, because he's a bit slippery.
Slippery.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I did my review.
Oh, you dropped, yes. God, I've forgotten about that.
Which I didn't actually do in demand toys.
yeah, I remember now when you dropped it and said, "Oh Christ!" Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it out and having a look at that one, because I do like the look of it. I think it's a particularly interesting looking version of Megatron, and I like the Select stuff. So yeah, so that's it really. That's it for now.
Oh, I always. So it sounds like a belch, doesn't it? That would be wrong, just wrong. It would be wrong and immature. But did it again. I always. That's too quiet now. Weird. I always shop online. In what high street bookstore could you wander around browsing the wares, wearing just your underwear and socks, and singing at the top of your voice? Coffee in one hand, Mr. Kipling cake in the other, and your favourite book in another.
Great pickups, and welcome back. And it's now time for the best bit of the show, in my opinion anyway, is Fans Toys Innuendo. So, challenge is, can you tell me what Transformer this man is describing? Let's go to Sherry's screening. Here we go. Try not to get turned on. This lady is immensely sexy.
Windblade.
We've got Windblade. Do you need a hint? I can hint down here.
I need a hammer in my head. What do I look? Where do I look? Don't stop making it. Stop making it dance.
Say cheetah or just with leopard spirit? Leopard.
Cheetah is wrong. There is a clue.
So let's break it down, right? Because this is Farrelly. My sexy hunk finally came in.
Bye bye.
I have no idea. This is Farrelly.
Do you want me to give you a bit more of a clue?
Yeah.
No, it's
The
Bulkhead.
clue is not
It's
in the
Bulkhead.
picture.
It's Bulkhead.
No. Fans Toys masterpiece.
It never is. It never is in the
Somehow.
picture. Oh, it's Fans Toys. Oh, okay, hang on.
Oh, we've been doing this for about 12 weeks. Oh, is it Fans Toys?
It never is.
It's always been Fans Toys.
Okay. In my defense, right, it's never been in the picture. Never.
Right.
And
Wait a second.
Oh, no, if you've gone away, I'm telling you the answer.
No.
Right,
No,
so
I
the
can't.
answer was, if you got it,
No. Whoa,
and
whoa, whoa.
hopefully our viewers at home,
Give me
Fans Toys,
1 second.
who's a hunk? Well, there's only one hunk. No one got it this week.
Brawn.
It's Brawn, yay! And then the whole section will flow, and then we'll go, oh, Alexis really doesn't pay attention. Right, on to the final bit of the show. So before we do that, we have an immense offering today, which I want to talk about from Rohan. And he's going to talk about the board games of Transformers. So over to you, Rohan.
Thanks, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another enthralling episode of Rohan's Corner. And this week, I've got something a little bit different for you. This week, I'm doing a review of Transformers, the board game Risk. Specifically, this is the Decepticon Invasion of Earth. So I don't know about you guys, over the years I've picked up a load of Transformers merchandise. Another example I've got here is Transformers Monopoly. I've got the Generation 1 version. There's nothing like a disclaimer right off the bat, so I'll start by saying I'm not a Risk expert. I haven't played Risk ever before buying this set. Inside the box you get the map. The map is of Earth. You start out with all of these continents and countries occupied by human presence. You get a little bag of green army men figurines. I'll get them out and show you in a little bit more detail. You get a bag of grey Decepticon characters, a bag of blue Decepticon characters, navy blue, a bag of light blue Decepticon characters, 5 dice, which I think is traditional for Risk, a larger bag of Autobot characters in red, a bunch of cards. You get 2 different types of cards. There's power cards and there are territory cards. And the last thing in the box is just a bunch of cardboard squares which are supposed to be Energon. Right, so here are the Autobot figurines. You get a little Bumblebee. You get loads of these little Bumblebees. He's a pretty cool little bug. You get a load of Optimus Primes. They're worth 5 Bumblebees or 5 troops. And you get a little counter piece which is worth 10 Bumblebees or 10 troops. And for the Decepticons, it's a similar theme. You get 1 Starscream or Seeker, whoever you prefer it to be, which is actually a pretty cool little mold. You get a Megatron, who's worth 5 Starscreams or 5 troops, and you get the counter again. I'm not going to show you all the others because all the other Decepticon packs are the same. The reason why there are 3 Decepticon packs is because you can actually have 3 players playing as Decepticons, 1 as Autobots, and the human characters are actually part of the Autobot team or part of the Earth Defense team. And so just for completeness, here are the human occupants that actually are spread out across the map. They occupy 1 country, state, or continent at the beginning of the game. Here are all the pieces for you together from a sense of scale. And because I don't have a cat, I've decided to show you them up against Studio Cell Unicron, why not? Megatron is about 2 times, 3 times the size of what I dub world's tiniest prime. The Autobots can land here in the center of the game. They can partner up with the human teams to create extra troops. The Decepticons can enter from 1, 2, 3 or 4 Space Bridge ports on the corners of the game. And so from a concept perspective, it doesn't sound too difficult, right? I mean, Now, after each round, which is a turn for each side, the level of energon decreases by 1. However, there are energon stockpiles dotted around the Earth at the beginning of the game, which you can collect to extend the game. And also, because of the way the game works, the attacking team has 3 die, the defending team only has 2 die, and so the attacking team gets the best 2 out of those 3 rolls to trump the defending team, which means it's a lot easier for the attacking team to continue their go. And every go they get to deploy more troops, 3 troops to begin with at the beginning. All of this is explained in this very rather long manual, which goes on to talk about how the game is played, what the players' pieces are consisting of, what the territories mean, what the power cards do, what the territory cards do, what the dice do, how to attack and achieve territory taking over, and where you can and can't go, and so on and so forth and so forth. Well, it took us about 2 hours to figure out how to play the game before we could actually play the game, and probably sucked all the fun out of it. Ultimately, this is a game of rolls of dice. So win the game is better at rolling dice, they're going to win the game. Simple as that. And it took us about 20 minutes to figure this out, as when we played for the first time, I was the Autobots and I was defending and I rolled consistently good rolls, and the Decepticons actually got pushed back outside of their markers within about 2 rounds. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more strategy involved that maybe I'm not aware of yet, or we haven't had a chance to play through yet. Having said that, it is a cool little set. I think I paid like 5 or 10 quid for it on eBay. There are other versions. The movie-based version is a lot more simple. You don't have human characters. It's literally Autobots versus Decepticons. All the pieces start on the board and you just attack each other and you go. However, as I say, it's complicated. You may as well make up your own rules. All of which means I give this game a thoroughly entertaining 3 out of 10 stars. Anywho, that's been Rohan for another episode of Rohan's Corner. I hope you've enjoyed it. I would love to see you again next week. Back to the studio.
Hey boys, we've been rumbled. Well, let's bounce.
Rohan!
Rohan.
Thank you, Rohan. That was awesome. Does anyone have any favourite board games? Transformers board games? Is there Transformers Risk? I've played that, definitely.
There's Transformers Risk.
Monopoly,
There's Transformers Monopoly. I've played the Monopoly.
I've got Transformers Monopoly. Yeah.
There's a massive.
There's
a £400 Transformers Monopoly in special graded wooden chest that they were speaking about on them. They were speaking about in the Radio Free Cybertron a year ago. You can buy it. It was a £400 Monopoly board, but with Transformers. It's all wooden.
The kind of thing that Zabi.
You okay? Are you okay there, Paul?
I'm all right, mate. Are you okay?
Good. I'm well. Thank you.
Cool. Glad we got that sorted. Good.
You do this, Alexis.
Rack is a powerful.
Can you do it in both hands?
No.
Right, discussion time. What's happening here? Discussion time. For our discussion tonight, we are going to be talking about what we think should be coming next in the Transformers line. What is the next evolution of Transformers, be it Chug, Masterpiece, or Legends? What would make it better? And we really want to discuss that tonight. We've got Chug people, we've got Legends people, we've got MP people, and we've also got Alexis. So what is it, sirs, that you want to come next? What would make this what would Transformers look like in 10 years' time? Andy, tell me your wish list of Transformers in 10 years' time. What do you think it will look like? Will it be loads of third party? Will it be just Hasbro? Will they up their game? Will they get more strict?
Hasbro, are they killing off the third party companies? Some of them seem to be going anyway. I think I think we'll still have third party, but I think it's harder and harder for third party companies to still be able to create bots. The thing about some third party companies, like MMC, for example, seem to have found a niche by going for things like the IDW bots, which they had a lot of success with creating bots from that kind of area, which was great for us as collectors because we weren't getting them from Hasbro. Hasbro, I feel like they're starting to wake up to the fact that they're missing out on this business, they're missing out on this money, and they're starting to kind of make moves towards that. But I think there's still certain bots that you won't get from Hasbro.
Andy, I think it's slightly more that you mentioned. I think that the bots themselves come from.
You know, I just sorry for interrupting there. Sorry, but I was just about
he
to
always
say,
interrupts you. It's fine.
Andy, that was so beautifully well put. It was almost like a song I was listening to there.
a sonnet of love, not for Hasbro. I mean, I do like your Hasbro, but
then it was clearly interrupted.
What I was going to say was like a character like Tarn. Now, Tarn is a brutal, sadistic, murdering, psychopathic mother puss bucket, and Hasbro kind of almost can't create him as a toy because ultimately, as much as we are collectors and adult collectors, and we always say, "Oh yes, those toys are for us," there's an element of all those toys that is still aimed at kids. So Hasbro have to hold back. And I always thought, well, we won't get a Tarn from any Hasbro mainline, and then they stuck the Tarn body kind of, that whole thing in the Cyberverse cartoon. If you haven't seen it, you'll see it. But I was thinking, oh, well, maybe Cyberverse. If Cyberverse did a toy of Tarn, then it would open up that door and we'd get more. And we haven't seen one yet. And I don't know if we're going to.
Hasbro's official partner done a Tarn.
They did, but it's a massive £300 or £400 statue.
Very much adult.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally like them going, right, well, they want a Tarn. Let's go high end. Let's give them an incredibly detailed, fantastic Tarn figure, but one that doesn't transform. Because
me and Alexis are fair party collectors. We've got Tarns coming out of our ears, haven't we?
But that's it.
Tarns everywhere.
Of course.
What would you want, Alexis, coming up in terms of what would you want, even from fair party? What sort of? I don't know. Not just what would you want as a figure. Do we upgrade their detail? Do they transform themselves? If you looked at Transformers 10 years ago, so if we go back to 2010, where we were sitting with Generations, Alternators, the start of the Masterpiece was only 3 years in, and you can see how much they've progressed. You can see how much they've progressed to G1. What do you think is coming up in 10 years' time? If you could shoot yourself ahead.
What I was jumping into Andy about, which I thought Andy could add to.
The question I just asked then.
No, but I thought Andy could add to it as well, by the way. But and then it was cut short by Jamie, by the way. Was that
Jamie.
Certain
Jamie Alexis Wars.
Certain companies have their own factories, and the difference is, well, the
that's
difference
what you're
is
looking forward to, saying companies having their own factories.
Well, the difference is about producing, right, and designs. We just saw DX9 go under, and DX9 are a designer, and they use Unique Toys factory, right? So the fact is, you have to have a factory to produce this stuff. Unless you have a factory or a reliable factory, you're not going to get it. So Make Toys produce their stuff through a Tupperware factory, I think it is. Yeah. But anyway,
fake fans toys.
The whole point is you have to have that.
That's what you're looking forward to in the next 10 years is more factories.
I'm
not sure how that would have worked, but
I would like reliability. I would like consistency. If I would like to have the fact that I'm going to order a bot now, and I'm going to get it, and then in the future, that the next 10 years worth of bots are going to be like supplied to me. I would like that consistency. There's great articulation, paint, sculpt, mold. That's the things you look for, right? A lot of those are there. A lot of companies get one or two difficulties, like Hasbro or Takara. What they've done right, they've sacrificed the mold over the articulation. So Bumblebee's feet, Bumblebee 2.0, shit. Most of their bots now are pretty average. Tigertron was shocking. RC apparently is better, but a lot of the bots that they've produced recently are pretty shocking results in the quality, the feel, the materials generally. So I would like consistency in materials, articulation, paint, and I would love Andy and Paul to get a fucking room. Fuck you.
10 years time, you want consistency of paint? Your big ambition for Transformers. 10 years time, I want my Transformers to transform on their own. Just go. Come on.
Do you want that though? Wouldn't that actually for you, Paul? Rather, you are a massive fan of the transformation of a Transformer. You've always said that you love the school of hard panty.
Oh, it's so cool, isn't it? Like
doing it yourself. But if you took that away, like I think that's the problem with a lot of Transformers toys that are aimed at kids nowadays, is they've dumbed down, and it's like takes that puzzle element out of it, and it's all one steps, and it's done to be as quick and easy as possible.
You know, this guy's complicated.
I know. I mean, that's, you really hard panted the hell out of that one, Jamie.
The sweat.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there was a dumbing down of Transformers, and you got a lot of that one step kind of thing, and then we've gone the other way a little bit now. So we're getting like masterpiece style bots, which we love as adult collectors, but you know, kids have a bit more of a challenge to it, don't they? You know, of actually being able to figure out how to transform some of these things.
I think it's a balance of the both, isn't it? Like you want a bit of the challenge of transforming it, but sometimes you just want something to transform itself. I don't want the pressure of like ruining the robot that I ruined and breaking his arm off. But equally, like a much bigger transform, which I've got just down there, is Studio Cell Unicron. That was a fantastic challenge.
Sorry, Paul. And the same with Powermaster Prime. So over to your right shoulder. Did you ever feel that same theme that you got with War Dog with PM Prime?
No, and it's hard because he's someone that I've loved. Like I just always, and no one. He's weird because he's such a popular character, isn't he? Powermaster Prime. Like we all love Powermaster Prime. I know Andy's one of your favorites. Yep. He's one of my favorites. So there's not really much on the market apart from fans' hobby, Powermaster Prime. So it's kind of, and it's crazy. I don't understand why other third party companies don't make him or make him better. But like, if you want the third party Powermaster Prime, he's that. He is it. Like I look at him, I just think he's the most. Look at that head. He's got the Marvel.
No, but
head.
I mean, when you transformed him, did you feel any sort of stress points or issues or doubts?
No. I've transformed hundreds and hundreds of Transformers.
There you go. Then
I can assess which ones are bad and which ones are poorly designed.
Build quality,
finely designed.
Build quality over the next 10 years should be good, so they don't break as easily.
Exactly, it goes back to what I was saying before around the design of the Transformer as well, about who makes it as well. And fans' hobby are fucking solid. Unique Toys, who DX,
is rocket solid.
Yes,
like we were talking about this the other day on TF UK, and he's at like 3 or 4 years old.
Yes,
he's so solid. You could transform him like as a kid, like when you would give a Dinobot to a kid. And
who designs Unique Toys? DX9.
I designed them all.
No, DX9.
Oh, sorry, DX9 designed them.
DX9, exactly. That's my whole point. DX9. DX9. So Unique Toys are the factory. DX9 were the designer. That's the whole point.
That's why I'm DX9 in the bedroom, fans' toys in the garden.
Unique Toys in the kitchen. And Hasbro.
Feel we strayed about this. So no, truly, what would you want to see in 10 years' time? When you look at Combiner Wars, I thought they were insane. Like when I looked at the stuff that you see in the shop. So seeing Bruticus in the shop, and it was like £15 a limb in The Entertainer in Carlisle. Looking at that was immense to see that. And it's so the Combiner Wars limbs looked amazing. And the fact
what do you have now? You have the
different now.
No, my Quinson and Bruticus. He speaks to you.
Talk about your Bruticus. Yeah, cool. I was just doing a thing.
No, in it. You're saying what you want, speak to you. You want to speak to you, right?
We haven't got to hear what Paul wants. We've got to hear Andy. We've got to hear you, Alexis. Now we can get to hear Paul. That'd be nice.
If only that was true, Alexis. You lie for your lips. No, I was just saying, like, when I first got into Transformers back about 10 years ago, and you picked up Combiner Wars and truck stuff, and seeing like Brawl or Quickshot or any of the limbs on the shop, and when you were a kid, you could never really get that, because you can go into a shop like Woolworths, you'd see like the odd limb there or the odd bit of Transformers. Whereas as a person who is an adult and earns adult money, I could go into Smith's and go, yep, all those limbs are mine. I couldn't believe how good they were. That was about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I took them home to my house in Burncliffe. I pretended that they were for my son, and they were really for me. And that passed the test with Lisa. And when I got them out, they were cool. I couldn't believe it. Amazing Transformers. And that was Combiner Wars. And then Earthrise came, and Earthrise was like a step up. But before Earthrise came, actually, I looked back on Transformers, and you saw Generations. And the part, I think, Generations Jazz is amazing. But when you look at other Generations robots, they kind of looked a bit wanky compared to, like, especially Titan's Return, the whole Power of the Primes trilogy. You could see it had moved on. And I kind of saw a gear shift as well when you went to Earthrise and Kingdom and stuff. They seem to get better and better and better. So when you think of a 10-year gap, I can go back a 10-year gap to Generations, skip Combiner Wars, end up in Earthrise, and that's a huge difference in the bit. If you've got Siege Sideswipe, for example, that's an amazing Transformer, a favorite of many people on many different sites everywhere. And if you combine him to the old Siege, this Reveal the Shield Siege, he looks a bit, who I used to like, it just looks a bit crap. So what would that look like in 10 years? If you got Siege Sideswipe, what would he look like in 10 years? Because he wouldn't look like the Masterpiece, because he's almost not far off the Masterpiece in ability. So what would he be like?
I
That's
like
my
Masterpiece.
question. In 10 years, what would Siege Sideswipe be in 10 years?
I think Siege Sideswipe, Paul, is better than Masterpiece.
And in 10 years, what would he be like?
You hit the nail on the head there. Siege Sideswipe is much better than Masterpiece. Siege Sideswipe is 10 years ahead of what he was than MP.
So if you went in 10 years' time, what would that look like?
Well, there you go. Well, he'd be blue.
He'd be blue. Or Baloo. He's either blue or Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Let's follow bare necessities and Mother Nature's recipe. Forget about your trouble or your strife. I mean the bare necessities as simple nature's recipes. Think about the troubles in your life.
Just you.
Right.
Jamie?
I think I'm hoping in 10 years' time now, but the quality is getting there, where thanks to mostly the Masterpiece line, which the Chug line for me is emulating. I think what I would really like to see is this quality control issue to be brought back in, is a better manufacturing, better paint apps, and it's much more streamlined. And I think once they have that sorted, then I would be much happier as a fan to see that progress in 10 years. I think when you come to design wise, once you've cracked it, sometimes there's nothing else you can do apart from go in a completely different direction. It's like evolution of biology. When you get something perfect, almost like a shark, the only other option is to go in another direction. Doesn't mean it's better or worse, but it's the only option you've got. But I would kind of hope in the future, especially talking about how things are exclusives, ignoring all that and the logistics of transport and getting stuff from different countries, what I would like to see is something which I've been doing with control pads, where you can customize your Transformers. So somehow you can put an order in with a shop and have a mold which is set for this Transformer, and you can mix and match. So you could have different paint apps, so you can almost get yourself an almost unique Transformer where you're not going to be killing each other to get Thrust, Ramjet and Dirge, because you could actually put them together and get it delivered. And that's maybe not 10 years ahead, maybe it's 20 years ahead, but something
that's 10 years.
Somewhere where you could where they design it better, where you could almost take the face plates off, or arm plates, and you can mix and match and put it in. And it's sort of like you can design it like that. So if you're missing some bits, you can build your own.
Build a bear, but with transformers.
Yeah. I think
Create
that small scale
personalise it.
customization will be like you see it with 3D printing, can't you? 3D printing, they print anything that will grow and grow and grow, and you'll order your transformers. It'll be just as easy to.
You might even order the specs from the site, and then you print it out.
Yeah.
In your own printer. And
you can almost get like Hasbro selling their own Hasbro printer, and you can just print off Hasbro stuff. So you can print it off from your own 3D printer, but if you print it from a Hasbro printer, it's a fraction of the price. Jay, so I say, Jay, I think that's a really good idea. Your idea was amazing. The personalization around sort of Transformers is they do it with dolls. I use the link in a tenuous way, but they do that a lot of the time, right? As you said, with Build a Bear. But I think that's it's got a lot of weight. Because you do connect with the Transformer, and you do have tendencies around it. So I think it's beautiful. So I've drunk too much, obviously.
Oh, get away.
That's a nice idea, though. The idea of customization for your Transformers, so you could actually, like you say, have any color, head, you design your own Transformer, and you can, like you say, it removes that problem of, I can't get a thrust.
Right, that's a realistic, isn't it? It's like,
you think so in 10 years' time? Like you guys have made the point about 3D printers and things like that. I mean, we know people who use 3D printers to kind of do add-on kits and things like that for their figures, especially the mainline ones. So it's not inconceivable that you could have something like that.
Yeah, and it might not even be in like printing it in plastic. You've got metal printers now as well.
I mean, we touched upon the point earlier as well about DX9 being out of the system because they haven't got a factory, right? If everyone's got a 3D printer, the consumer becomes the factory. So if they have the right materials, if they can print the right, I guess it's resin, and Nathan can correct me on this, right? But isn't that what you want, right? Everyone wants their own. Right, so what quality do you want it?
3D printers are becoming more common as well, aren't they? Because I mean, even Claire turned around to me this week and she started asking me questions about 3D printers.
And the fact is, those printers could connect to the service of these companies, Hasbro or third-party companies, and
Warhammer.
And you pick, and they will stream the information, so you'll never have the plan, so you can't go and pirate or copy the plans and send it to other people.
That's what Games Workshop.
Yeah, you'll be streaming literally from them.
They're so scared because like Games Workshop figures are so small and easy to print. Games Workshop are really fine about this because you can just upload the design. You can
You can fuck your own design. You can fuck your own design. No matter how small it is, how intricate it is.
I didn't mean fuck your own design, Alexis.
When you started talking about dolls, I thought that's where Alexis was going anyway.
Oh yeah. Paul's talking, and suddenly Alexis fucks dolls.
You heard it here first.
Don't say that. That's not a thing that would happen on this show. Right, I think that's it.
I'd be fair to say making love.
If you stuck with us with that insightful
we're ending this out.
Your future,
fuck you, we're editing this bit out.
God love you.
Thank you for this long. Please go to Transformers UK.
3, 2,
Alexis,
1.
You can keep counting. It's
saying 3, 2, 1 doesn't work when you're the one who's not editing it. Jamie,
Alexis, do you think it's like magic?
What's the Twitter, please, sir?
Twitter is Transformers. Well, sorry, TF Show UK. So it's TF Show UK.
Have you logged on to the Instagram yet, Alexis?
3, 2, 1.
What's the Instagram?
Transformers the show.
Cool. Thank you for that. Also,
what else do you want? What else do you want?
I trust you tonight. Facebook. Go on Facebook and find us at TF UK. We are there. Thanks for tonight. Bye.
Thanks for tonight.
Yeah, thank you for tonight.
You seem preoccupied with people who criticise you.
No. No, there'll be people criticising me on this page. Yeah, definitely. Doesn't bother me. I mean, all I'd say about the people making the comments below this talking box is, just that doesn't bother me because I don't particularly read them, and I'm well aware of who they are, and they're traceable. You know, for what it's worth, they are traceable.
Working though. It's working. That's the important thing.
It's fine.
I don't believe him. I think Sam's underneath that desk making noises.
Get down, Sam. So I got this working. If I get this working properly, it's in here. Oh no, that's what I was going to do. Sorry. Do that again. Sorry. Do it again.
You have to do it again. You have to do a 3, 2, 1. You can't just say do it again.
Okay. So 3, 2.
Are you doing a review
1.
of Dragstrip now? Wait.
Oh, no, I do a mini thing.
We spoke about it, didn't we? We said we'd do a mini review. It'd be quite cool.
Well, yes, but then I didn't. Then I spent time on the Dr. Egg instead because I got the battery. So
I spent time with Dr.
Didn't pay any attention.
We talked things through, and Dr. Egg told me I shouldn't do it.
Do a little bit. Okay. So 3,
Have you transformed them
2, 1. Yes, I have. You can see I have.
What,
I can do it on the actually, if you want, I can do Hard Panther on the show.
Oh,
No. Just if you transformed him, and you know what he's like.
It takes.
Why do you have to transform him? Just show him in one mode and just say
3,
the transformation was like
Just
this.
let him show the photos.
3, 2, 1.
So are you going to show the photos now?
Hang on. What am I sharing? What am I sharing? What's that sharing?
So you're doing DX9 Dragstrip. Gulimio?
Portion screen. Okay.
Right, you tell me when you're ready,
3,
okay?
2,
You say when you're ready.
Okay. So I got DX9.
No, you see your 3, 2, 1 on the when it's like this, not beforehand.
You really
so
hope you're
3,
doing
2,
this
1.
deliberately.
No, I'm not. Because otherwise it'd be 3, 2, 1 and it'll be the transfer. So do 3, 2, 1 now.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
But I don't know if I should plug it. It doesn't say you should plug in. Recommend the
No
battery.
one cares.
No one cares.
So I got.
Don't do it in that voice.
DX9.
Do it in the nice voice. Do like 3, 2, 1. It's just a bit nasally.
That's his voice. He's just talking normally for Christ's sake.
So I got 3, 2, 1. So I got DX9.
Wait, are you starting again?
Was, for fuck's sake.
Can you go back to your previous 3, 2, 1?
There we go. Just.
Who's editing this tomorrow? It's like Paul's reached the point of no return. He's just decided to hell with it. If I'm going down, I'm going down in flames, and I'm taking you with me, motherfuckers.
There's been 52 episodes, and I hate you fuckers. I hate you.
Year of my life. Fucking 4 hours. No, it's cool. Just do. Because I think it's really important what you said, actually, the box, like, because they were going to do Grilling mode, weren't they? And they changed it to Dragstrip because they literally thought, fuck off, bro.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, and I've got Guillermo or Guatemala or Guatemala. Anyway,
we waterboard.
You do understand Paul's just going to leave all this in.
They have called him Dragstrip. We will share the box art in a minute, but he's Dragstrip, and
do it again. Sorry, do it again. Right, do this. Okay, right, just go. I'll count you in, okay? Because I'll know it's me then. So, right, okay. So just go straight in, say this is DX9 Dragstrip. Talk about Dragstrip. Don't say about the other name. And then after you finish sharing your screen, then cut back to you, stop sharing, and show the box. Because the box bit's a really important bit. So I'll count you in, okay? 3, 2, 1. This is DX9 Dragstrip. Okay?
Exactly.
Right. So this is DX9.
I'm 3, 2, 1. I'm doing 3, 2, 1.
You went 3, 2, 1, burp. I'll count.
No, I'll give you an example. Okay, right. So I'm going to do it in a second. Go into it straight to DX9. Talk about Dragstrip, and when you finish, then cut back to the box art. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
If you had said fan stories at the very start of that, I would have got it.
Yeah, it's almost like I did say that. and you just missed
And
it.
it's almost like it was written there as well.
And it's this whole section is called Fans, Toys, Innuendo.
Yeah.
She didn't hear me.
I got Sam on Facebook. Should I text her?
Are you all right there, Alexis? You're not looking.
I just got a bit.
We were missing a soprano there. I did notice that.
Sorry,
guys.
You you're looking like you're going to throw up.
No, I'm all right. I got a hiccup. That's all.
Hi, Sam.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Paul, Lisa's husband. Yeah, we've got. Yeah, your husband Alexis is online.
I got hiccups.
Would you have to give him burpees? Just come in and give him a bit of burpees. It's just he just needs a bit of burps.
Shut up.
Cool. All right. Cheers.
Make sure this stays
All right.
in.
Thank you.
He just needs a little pat in the
Sam's
back.
on the
That's all he
way.
needs.
She didn't call 999.
Just going to rub your back and pat your belly.
You drinking Carlsberg there, or is that Heineken?
Peroni, that looks like.
Kronberg, isn't it?
Just do Rohan one more time. I'm good now.
Right, what beer was it?
I want to add a comment in about it being risky.
No, we all said different beers.
What?
We want to know what beer it was. I said Peroni. The beer you're drinking. Yes. I know
It's not the label. It's not the label's right. I pick up every time. It's like, oh,
don't tell me. Tell
Alexis
Alexis
was
and
facing
Jamie.
in the opposite
Tell Andy and
direction,
Jamie.
Alexis. That's why we didn't tell you it's Peroni.
I'm the only one who got it right.
I can't see a fucking pair of glass.
I got it right.
I'd also point out that at the
Alexis.
moment you're just tiny on the screen to me. So
Yes.
Hello and welcome to episode 52. That's right, 1 year of Transformers the show. On tonight's show, we've got loads going on. We've got all the news, all the stuff about Dreamstar, the latest release and third party. We also have all the third party news. Oh, fuck, it's a third party twice. 3, 2, 1. Right, on this week's discussion, we're going to talk about what is the next thing for Transformers. So we've seen the chug line, which I hate calling it the chug line, but how it's developed. What, Alexis?
We didn't do it in the review, did we? We didn't push the photograph in the review, in the news. We didn't do it. We didn't do the photograph.
is that
We
Paul's
meant to do Centurions in the news, weren't we?
Is he just...
But we could do Centurions another year. So we released.
I thought we were going to do it in the news to get... The whole point of doing the news is to keep people anticipating towards it. Am I wrong? No.
I wouldn't say you're wrong.
Come back, Paul.
You share this photograph and
come
go,
back.
and by the way, in our news, we're going to do a bit more about this. We're going to talk about this.
But we could have actually discussed it in the discussion we're about to do this now. And you say, well, it'd be good because of Centurion, blah, blah, blah. The masterpiece Centurions.
I don't know why he gets angry, because you edit stuff out. Come on, Faraday.
Actually shut my whole computer down. I was so annoyed at doing that perfect intro.
Oh,
Someone just to shout over me.
You always do perfect intros.
Right, you do it. What?
Your camera angle, that's all. No, I don't want to do it.
No, you interrupted me. I was flowing. I'd done the whole thing. You just thought you was going, what? It's fine.
It's about Centurions. Don't forget he was about Centurions as well.
Cool.
Oh,
Finish the show off.
fine. I'll do it. Fine. Count me in.
Nope.
Playground rules.
All right, fine. You ready? In 3, 2, 1. And tonight.
Will that come in?
Before we start, Paul, are you okay? You all right?
You right, Paul?
Okay. Right, cool. Right.
Tuesday.
In 3, 2, 1. Tonight, we are going to finish off with an absolute spectacular show. We're going to look at the not Transformers, but the evolution.
You remember
of the action
Chug?
figure.
Can you remember Chug Bravo, Alpha Bravo from Combiner Wars? Who can remember Chug Alpha Bravo? He's in Combiner Wars, wasn't he? He was a helicopter. Sorry. Go.
You did all this.
We need to get Jamie.
In 3, 2, 1.
Right.
So-
So 3.
Wait.
2.
What's the discussion? Sorry.
Your biggest bumblebee in your collection.
Come on. I
Turn
really
round,
want to
go and get your biggest bumblebee.
I
back here.
I will edit tomorrow.
Alcohol, or why we shouldn't drink it while doing the show.
Right. No, we're doing what do we want from Transformers next year or in the future?
What we hoping
it's
for
your
in the
discussion.
year.
You came up with it. Don't huff. It's your idea. It's a really good idea. We could do your next brilliant idea next week. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Can we at least share the Centurions piece then in the news and say we'll talk about it next week?
I don't see it so much as a book, more as a campaign and an assault on the naysayers. And people say, who are they? I'll tell you who the naysayers are. They look quite ordinary. They walk among you. They can seem benign, broadly positive even. And then you ask them a few innocent questions and suddenly all their skin falls off and they are revealed to be a naysaying cyborg. Not literally.
Right, come on, let's just finish off with the Transformers bit. What do you really want to do, the Centurions?
Oh, not anymore. I did. I was like,
I don't want to do the Centurions.
I can't believe this. And kick it off and kick it off. No, I don't want. Do you really want to do the Centurions? Well, no, I'm not bothered, really.
I'm not bothered. Let's do the Transformers. Okay, 3.
Not anymore.
oh, no,
Please bother me.
I mean, Jay's not really talked. Jay, who like, it's like who likes visionaries, who likes
Transformers discussion, right? Okay,
all right,
and just listen to what I say because that will be your cue up for what we're talking about. Okay, right, 3.
Okay.
Don't move at me. 3, 2.
Me. My
Stop
voice.
it. Okay, right. 3, 2, 1. Don't look at me like that. You're making me laugh. Right, shut
Come
up.
on.
Right, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1.